Freax. Oh, why'd you go and say that? Freax. The website was a mistake, yeah. Freax.
Twitter freaks. If you're wondering why people are already up my ass this week, just understand that maybe you missed a little something by watching this on YouTube and not at twitch.tv/MBT all right, first and foremost, we're going to begin with this. Jeffrey Epstein might be alive. All right, viral sensation Palm Beach Pete tells TMZ, I'm just a better looking version of Jeffrey. And though I did used to party with him.
I'm Palm Beach Pete. I'm a regular guy. I'm retired. I lived in the city for a long time, worked in commercial real estate. I love to play tennis. I'm very social. I'm not going to change. This guy is dead, and he was a really bad person. And I can hold my head high. I didn't do anything. I just happen to have similar looks. I'm just a better looking version than Jeffrey. Back in the day, when I was living in the city, I went to a couple of parties and Epstein was there.
Okay, so either this is Epstein or this is a clone. If you guys know anything about like Epstein's interest, you know that he was like doing the human cloning labs type thing. This is one of the clones. This guy was grown in a vat. He was advanced to maturity at a very young age, and then they let him out into the world so that if Jeffrey died, a device inside Jeffrey's neck would transmit all of his memories and beliefs into Palm Beach Pete.
At a party, and he was kind of creepy, just sitting on a couch, staying to himself. And he wasn't the magnitude that he is or was. So he wasn't a big deal. He was mysterious. People didn't know how he made it.
Why would you describe it? He's talking about a guy who's just like a wallflower. He's talking about a guy who's like doing nothing at a party. And then he goes, he was mysterious. Why would you say that? He had a certain je ne sais quoi, Was he just a loser at a party? No, I would say he was more like taking in the surroundings. In fact, living a little more authentically than any of us. And he was attractive too. Probably had a big dick.
His money and where he, what his story was, but I never really encountered him and had a conversation with him. I just saw him at a party.
So the reason that, of course, they couldn't encounter each other is the same reason that if you go back in time, you can't touch yourself or you cause a paradox and explode the universe, right? Like a failsafe in his body would cause him to die immediately, right? No, this is Epstein. I feel comfortable saying this has got to be Epstein. I don't believe for a sec. Palm Beach Pete, total fake name. I believe it. Next up. All right. God, we're going to pivot back and forth. It's unfortunate because everything is one thing this week. But let's start with this. This is Bruh, I'm in Family Guy. It's a commission from Alex Sarsoza.
Picture.
BB No Money has spent a lot of time online talking about how he explicitly cannot stand AI art and wants to credit real artists. Let me be honest. Maybe you shouldn't be crediting this one. Whoever sent you this, maybe you should pay him and then not work with him again. Let's check out Alex Sarsoza's other work. He retweets a lot. Maybe I'll just go to media and figure it out there.
When I thought I broke away and I'm feeling happy, you try to trap me, say you're pregnant, and guess who's the daddy? Don't
okay,
wanna
wait a
fall
minute.
for it, but
Wait, that's a little better. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. And then you handed BB No Money this? Okay. I full-throated, wholehearted support to this animator for fleecing the shit out of BB No Money. Keep it up. He's gonna have BB No Money if you keep making these types of things for him. Wow. I'd also like to shout out this item in the back here on the left, this homunculus. A lot of people were like, who is this supposed to be? You are not a real Family Guy fan. This is the Madagascar hippo doing the joke from this scene. It's the hippo hop hippo. Her name is Gloria in the movie. Oh, man. Okay, next up. A Florida animal shelter saved a cat that was scheduled to be euthanized due to intestinal blockage. Midnight had eaten 26 hair ties, but survived and is now expected to make a full recovery. How do you get 23 hair ties down and go, nah, I think I got a couple more left in me? You know what? They were going to have to kill the cat. They were going to... Curiosity, man. I also like, you can kind of see, you could do a little bit of what we in the business call inference based on this picture. We got a little environmental storytelling going on. You see over here, this like ring of crust. You see over here how some of them are discolored. This cat has been vomiting for hours. Like, we got to get him out. Did they take it from the mouth or the ass? Had to be the mouth. Had to be the mouth. So the limit is 25, and I'll do it again. All right, next up. Okay. I got this as an ad. I just really like this. The universe is not self-existent. The sovereignty of God is unlimited. It is the fundamental fact of all creation. The universe was not inevitable. The universe is not an accident. Neither is self-existent. The universe itself is a work of creation and therefore a holy subject in the will of the creator. The Urantia book. So I was like, well, any major religion would fucking hate this thing because this is, you know, minimum idolatry. But what is the Urantia book? So I had to go look that up. The Urantia book, sometimes called the Fifth Epochal Revelation, is a spiritual, philosophical, and religious book written sometime between 1924 and 1955. The text, which claims to have been composed by celestial beings, intends to present enlarged concepts and advanced truth. How it arrived in 1955 is unclear and a matter of debate. The book itself claims its basis is found in more than 1,000 human concepts representing the highest and most advanced planetary knowledge. Honestly, I believe it. I think that this book was written by aliens and describes the universe and is reaching out to me through the strength and power of Twitter.com. What's that white man doing on them clouds? My friend, don't get sidetracked from the message. That's true. Okay, next up. Okay, this one kind of fucked me up. A homeless Atlanta man's restaurant, Nasty Azz Cheeseburger, has been removed from DoorDash after countless users reported it over food safety concerns. Now, listen. I know what you're thinking. That picture looks pretty good. The picture is AI. Let's see what the Nasty Azz Cheeseburger kitchen looks like.
I have so many questions.
Now we just need a
Okay, that's the entire establishment you're looking at right now. But don't worry, we get a closer look.
I gotta ask now.
I'm about to go ask him what those are. Burgers? You really selling something? This is real? We wasn't sure.
Go to DoorDash, Nasty Azz Cheeseburger, watch that.
I love it.
He said DoorDash.
How cool. I'm thinking, y'all, we over there betting. Like, it's real.
Okay, there's no way the grill needs to be at a 15-degree angle.
Is it fake? Is it real?
I love it. Listen, if you all are well versed in kind of the cadence of getting crazy people to explain things to you, this is one of my favorite things to do, is get like people who are out of their fucking mind to explain things to me. That's what you go, oh, I love it. Please keep talking about it. She's like, I want to hear more.
I'm fixing this up today, and I'm putting a mascot. I want to put a burger mascot, Vinny the Burger. You know how McDonald's had the mascot?
Yeah.
So I'm coming with caricatures, and
He's describing the mascot for Nasty Ass Burger.
Put this, I'm gonna fix it up. I'm gonna change the lights up a little bit on it.
And what's your what's the page called so I can go back and look?
Well, it's DoorDash Nasty Ass Cheeseburger. You see the whole menu with all the burgers. The
Y'all hear
veggie
that,
burger
y'all?
is called the Dream Burger. Put a little more.
Y'all better stop
information on
eating
it.
people's shit.
And then the newest one is the Bacon House Double Stack. I put like 10 strips of bacon on that bitch. It's pretty good. Special sauce. Sauce is my sauce.
I'm not eating this special sauce from here. I apologize.
Right now.
You did.
Right now. What's your name?
King Leonard.
King Leonard.
King Leonard.
King Leonard.
Y'all see this?
Well, unfortunately, it has been shut down. The DoorDash food provider under the same name is active on the app currently. Photos of the food are stock images. They're AI. They've been aware of this week of the video posted to TikTok. The platform determined Nasty Ass Burgers is in violation of their policies and removed it from the platform. All right. I hate to be like this. You ordered food from Nasty Ass Cheeseburger, and you were like, oh, the food is too nasty. What the fuck is your problem? God forbid a man poison a local population with his restaurant that is a shopping cart. All right? God forbid. If you order from Nasty Ass Cheeseburger and you get a Nasty Ass Cheeseburger, what are you expecting? Also, by the way, 3.8 stars. Let's go. They thought it was a new millennial food truck. That is like the name of a millennial food truck. A freaking Nasty Ass Cheeseburger. To make it easier to locate, my friend listed his house as a restaurant. 4 years later, got a 1-star review who ranted about it, then Google took it down. Fuck. He said it with the name, no false advertisement. Listen, fuck you. I would eat the Nasty Ass Cheeseburger once, and then I would probably not be able to eat anything ever again. All right, next up. Okay, this one whips ass. So there's a Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana anniversary special coming out this like in the next couple of days, or maybe it already came out. I'm not too plugged in on the Hannah Montana verse. Miley Cyrus, by the way, looks exactly the same. She's 20 years older. She looks exactly the same. I understand that if you're famous, you get access to the adrenochrome that causes you to never age. I get that. I understand that this person was probably a clone built to the same vat as Pacific Pete or whatever, right? But this is my absolute favorite post here. She goes, this Hannah Montana anniversary special didn't exist when she announced it. Says, I learned this terrible habit, but I actually think it was good advice from Dolly. She told me, if you want something to happen, just start promoting it before it exists. Then no one can say no. So I just started promoting a Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special that literally did not exist. And it worked. It was beast mode. Beast fucking mode, dude. What do you want me to say? Actual beast mode. Okay, look, here, hold up. I'm going to look up Hannah Montana. Okay, Hannah Montana. Okay, that's what... Here, hold up. Let me get... This is what Hannah Montana looked like 20 years ago, okay?
What Disney boy? Being Hannah, I love being my.
This is what Hannah Montana looks like now. She looks very close to the same. I'm sorry. I understand she's aged a little. That's how time works. But it's crazy that in 20 years, she seems to have aged about 5. Look at that! She looks great! She's like fucking 45!
Thank you so much for being here.
Miley was Hannah Montana? Oh, shit. Spoilers, I guess. Wow, all of you are insane. You don't know how 45-year-olds look. You're out of your mind. Next up. Brother, she's 33. Wait. Obviously. What the fuck? She's my age? Oh, man, I don't like this. All right, well, she does look like a 33-year-old, I'll say that. Okay, never mind. Well, no duh, I thought she looked fantastic. She's 10 years younger than I thought she was. I came in like a wrecking ball. Under 1.2 billion views. All right, next up. Folks. Biggest nacho cheese has died of old age. I cannot believe that biggest nacho cheese has died of old age. Who? Biggest nacho cheese. So let me give you a little background. In Mugenics, as you put radioactive material in your house and your cats go through the shimmer, they develop powerful mutations that they can pass on to their children. And after doing this a dozen times, you end up with cats that are just fucking monsters. This is the most monstrous cat I've ever seen. Biggest nacho cheese, I will never forget you. This is the head, by the way. These are the eyes right here, and that's the mouth. This is a tumor. That's a second tumor. We've got bird wings. We've got octopus legs. Got like 15 different like head and mouth mutations. Biggest nacho cheese. Here's biggest nacho cheese having sex with another cat. Lewis wanted to get it on with biggest nacho cheese, but biggest nacho cheese wasn't into it. That's really lucky for Lewis, I'm going to be honest with you. That is really, really lucky for Lewis, I'm going to be honest. Lewis, I don't think you could handle that biggest nacho cheese ussy. I didn't realize it had glowing red eyes as well. Okay. Lewis a freak, for real. All right, next up. What the fuck? So, at the AEW Revolution event last week, AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler showed up. They did some fighting. They did some wrestling. And the Rizzler was attacked. They just had the Rizzler on AEW. Here, I'll get it from this person. Okay, this is the video. So he does the Riz face. Look at this. Oh my god! Die! How dare you do that? I better see AJ or Big Justice show up to beat the fuck out of this guy.
That's with ease.
Oh my god! What? That motherfucker took 5 big booms. He just thump. That's AJ's music. Oh man. How Big Justice was moving. Sources tell me the Rizzler is stable. Please God. Oh my god. Fuck me. Rizzler down! Isn't the Rizzler like 9? He's like 9 years old. He doesn't know how to spell. Alright, next up. The big thing going on right now, of course, is the continued Iran war. In and out, 20-minute conflict. Only good can happen. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the thing that matters most, passports. Now, passports are really important. As you know, they did Brexit because they didn't like the color of the passports. But we've got a fantastic one here. It says, renewing my U.S. passport. The old design on the right is full of color and civic pride. The new one left is just transparently a sad little Zog pass. And here's the Deputy Secretary of State replying. Thanks for highlighting this. I share your concern. Oh, cool. Yeah, all right. You're right. It does look like a little Zog pass. There's no reason passports shouldn't have a little flair, and it pains me when things get affirmatively uglier and more generic. I'll look into this decision and see what I can do. Cool. I do like the response to this. I, too, hate it when my government representatives connect with me on a personal level and share my concerns and look into potential issues to see if they can impact decisions being made. Yeah, that's like, if I was brain dead, I would also describe this scenario like that. What's that tweet that I always think of? The conservative mind is just describing things in the most generic way possible in order to make it sound like they didn't do crime. Like conspiracy is, oh, I guess it's just illegal to speak with your friends now. Ugh, man. Good. Awesome. Ugh. All right, next up. Let's get some fun ones out of the way. A malfunctioning service robot dances uncontrollably at a Haidilao hot pot restaurant in San Jose, California, knocking over tableware as staff members attempt to restrain it. Sorry? God forbid a robot get a little motion? Look at this. Woo! He's going in. They've sped it up here, but he is going in. Damn! Dude, he's got moves! The staff came to control the robot, but no one knows how to turn it off. Oh, man. Good stuff. The revolution is starting. All right. While the national century of embarrassment commences and we just totally get mogged by every country and ideology in the world, I think it's important to check in on those responsible for the present moment, for, of course, the election of Donald Trump, but also for coining words like Zogpass. How's a friend of the channel, Nick Fuentes, doing? Well, the answer is really good. Nick Fuentes, the week just started, and Nick is already getting terrible super chats.
Zafir Ancho sent $20.
Also
Hi,
from
Nick.
last week.
You are Iberian. Don't trust 23N. They were Jews. One of us. Flexed biceps emoji. You can be our next Franco.
Okay.
GE Narration Zealot sent $20. I'm broke. Archaic Hominin sent $20. Do you think we will ever have a totalitarian Catholic theocracy when America was built entirely from the Enlightenment?
Okay, guys. It's Monday. It's Monday. Like, can we please?
I gotta admit, I get a little bit of joy watching this guy exist in the hell of his own creation. This is the second week that this has been happening. It's obviously a very transparent ploy to get super chats, but man, we are going to see this guy Bud Dwyer himself by the end of this. Every day he gets on and realizes that the people who follow him, the people who have been attracted to his movement, are room temperature IQ at best, single digit at median. Look at this.
Please. Like, come on. It's Monday.
He opens up Monday and they're like, hey, did you know that you're actually ethnically Iberian? He's like, fuck me.
We're just getting started. Like, we can't start off like this. If this is Monday, like, I'm just gonna crash out. If that's our first super chat on a Monday, you know what? We had a good run here. Holy.
And Miami.
He is gonna kill himself, I think. And Miami Groipet sent $1,001. $1,001.
Groipet sent $1,001.
All right, that's a little better.
Oh, all right, that's a little. Thanks for the $1,001. That's a little better. Okay, that's a little better. Oh my God, holy moly! All I gotta say is, come on, Watsy, Nick Fuentes. We'll treat you very fairly. Next up. Okay, well, in case you needed more evidence that the people running the show right now are brain dead, a source sent me this photo of Kash Patel's customized Nikes. The shoes feature the number 9 because Patel is the 9th FBI director, a Punisher skull, and his personal logo, K$H. Dude, that's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, I became FBI director so I could get some fucking epic sneaks. This is the SOG pass. This is the soy-occupied government pass. You have to show off your footwear. Holy shit, dude. I didn't know he was a freaking sneakerhead. What in the hell are you? I'm a bit of a beat rat. Why didn't they give this job to Bongino? They thought he was overqualified. Oh, man. Okay. A couple of bangers out of Trump this week. I mean, I will not lie. When the man is hitting, I did the exact same thing twice. When the man is hitting, he's hitting. This is a hit. This is he's talking to the Prime Minister of Northern Ireland.
Steve, great job. Deputy First Minister of Northern Ireland, and they get along so well. I saw that. You get along very well together. That's the way it's supposed to be, huh? I don't know if I should be promoting merger. I love mergers, but I didn't know. We're going to get in a little trouble. We're going to get in more trouble with that than the beauty.
Up the rebels? Hold up. Wait a minute. President Trump, for a unified Ireland? Hello? What? I love mergers. Let's just merge the islands back together. We may get in some troubles, if you know what I'm saying.
But Emma, Little, Pengali, thank you very much, Emma. Thank you very much.
Oh, man. The fucked up part is that he's funny, man. He's funny. He'd do. I say this all the time. If Trump had been born 10 years later, he would have the #1 podcast in the history of time. But unfortunately, he was born when he is, so now he has to preside over the end of America. Why is the writings good? If you thought that was the stupidest thing Trump was going to say to a world leader this week, though, we got one better. This one's fucking awesome. Trump and Japanese PM speak to reporters. All right. So the question is, why didn't you tell U.S. allies about the war in Iran before the attack? Ready? Here we go.
Of course, no, Japan and U.S. are very good friends. But one question, why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to signal to your allies. You don't want it to get leaked. You know, it's a covert operation. You know, I understand that. So that's the answer, right? We're just going to stop there. That's the answer.
And we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay?
What do you even say to that? And you can see him wind it up too. He's like so bored by this question, and then he gets it in his head. He's like, wait, this is gonna fucking kill. He goes, yeah, we didn't say, but who knows more about
surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And
and then he does crowd work. He's like, this guy's asking me. He said, surprise. Well,
we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise,
I can't believe she's maintaining her composure, by the way.
We knocked out 50% of what we... And
oh, my God. Crazy ass shit. Of course, we did maintain the element of surprise in the war in Iran, and that's why it's over. The war in Iran is over, or is it? I guess we should go probably to a blue sky one right here. When asked about the war in Iran this week, here's the position we're at. Ready? Friday's press gaggle, barely exaggerated. At 12:03, President Trump told reporters he wanted a ceasefire with Iran. At 12:05, he declared victory. At 12:07, he announced he was sending Marines. At 12:08, he said there would be no boots on the ground. At 12:11, he said he did not want a ceasefire. At 12:16, he declared victory again. At 12:17, he asked for a ceasefire. At 12:23, he told NATO they were cowards. At 12:29, he said Iran was begging for a ceasefire. At 12:31, he said everything was perfect. At 12:36, he said $500 oil was a good thing. At 12:37, he demanded Iran open Hormuz. At 12:39, he said Hormuz was never closed. At 12:41, he said the U.S. was not at war with Iran. And at 12:42, he declared victory in Iran. Yeah, man, so that's where we are. Listen, I just cannot believe that Baudrillard is not alive for this. I feel so fucking bad for the guy. He had to write all that shit about the Gulf War this one would have just been perfect for him. He would be heralded as the next Socrates. My fucking God. What do you mean? This is unbelievable, man. And I mean, if you ask me to tell you what the status of the Iranian war is, I can't really do that, because I think the answer is it's ongoing. But what are the victory conditions? What's the plan? Like, what what are we trying to extract from them? How are we going to open the strait? No one knows. There's no answer to any of that. We're just doing this shit. We're getting in front of the camera. We're like, we won. We didn't win. I'm not putting people there. But after we put a bunch of people there, they'll surrender, and I will accept their surrender, which they want very badly right now, and I will not take. Fuck NATO. It's good. It's going well. It's things are going really good. Okay. Brief reprieve before we get back into the Iran war. Let's look at the giraffes in the Bronx Zoo. Our giraffes utilize specialized puzzle feeders as part of our comprehensive enrichment program. These devices are designed to stimulate their natural foraging behaviors, requiring the animals to employ their long, prehensile tongues to investigate and retrieve food items. Let's watch this together. Here's the giraffe. He's coming for us. Giraffes are such majestic creatures. And there's the feeder. You can see that it's facing away from him, so he's got to stick the tongue in and get the carrots and the celery. And look at that. Holy shit. He's got a liquor on him. Gets in that hole. Gets a carrot. Whoa, that's like an arm. Oh, man. Delicious. Delicious carrot. Oh, get back. You're knocking it around. That's a sweet potato. Gotta get the sweet potato. Yes. Delicious. Adorable. All right, next up. Okay, so we're gonna real quick walk through Markwayne Mullin. Do you guys know this guy? So, one strange thing about Trump 2 is that in Trump 1, there was like consistent, constant turnover of everybody all the time. And in Trump 2, even way past to the point where people should have been fired, they are not getting fired. But finally, Kristi Noem, the head of ICE or Homeland Security or whatever, got fired and is being replaced with this guy, Markwayne Mullin. Now, this guy is an interesting person because he has history with one of the senators voting for his confirmation. Do you guys remember like 7 years ago when Rand Paul's neighbor kicked him so hard in the chest it broke his ribs? Yes? Okay. So this happened, and it turns out Markwayne Mullin knows the guy and was like, he said something along the lines of, I mean, I see why he did it. And then Rand Paul asked for an apology, and he was like, no. So during the confirmation hearing, which passed, by the way, this guy now is in charge of Homeland Security, he and Rand Paul got into a fucking shit fit, and he said some really cool stuff.
After the fight, you did many interviews in which you justified the violence as historically justified by precedents, such as caning and dueling. Is it today your opinion that the caning of Charles Sumner was not only justified, but argues still for resolving our political differences with violence?
What I was simply pointing out is some of the rules that still apply to this body. For instance, dueling with 2 consenting adults is still there.
No, it's not. What?
I was pointing out what is still
illegal for 170 years. There's no precedent for legal dueling.
He's like, you can still duel. He's like, no, you can't. Have you been dueling?
Even then, they fled the country. Do you realize that the man that beat Charles Sumner with a cane, he beat him till he was unconscious? You know why no senators intervened? Because his friend held a gun on the other senators, and he kept beating him until he crushed his skull. That's what you're insinuating is the precedent of the Senate, and that's what you live by. That is a very, very dangerous sentiment.
Anyway, this guy's now in charge of Homeland Security, so look forward to that. Okay. Oh man, okay. So things are rapidly deteriorating with respect to the Iran war. We are back. And we need a scapegoat. And we have found one. It's Pete.
And then unfortunately I called Pete, I called General Kane.
First off, you know it's going to be good when he starts. Unfortunately, I called Pete.
And I called a lot of our great people. We have great people. And I said, let's talk. We got a problem in the Middle East. We have a country known as Iran that for 47 years has been just a purveyor of terror. And they're very close to having a nuclear weapon. We can keep going and get that 50,000 up to 55 and 60. There's no end. Or we can take a stop and make a little journey into the Middle East and eliminate a big problem. And
we can take a stop into the Middle East.
Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up. And
Pete, you said first. You said we have to do it. You said we have to do it, Pete. You said it.
Weapon.
You said it.
So we are now having really good discussions. They started last night, a little bit, the night before that. And then, unfortunately, I called Pete, I called General Kane, I called...
Good. Awesome. Well, hey, if it gets him... if it gets him out, I'm in. Honestly, if it gets him out, I am fucking in. Oh, man. I don't know. It's bleak stuff. I hope Sony condemns the White House for using PS5 imagery to promote its administration. That's funny. But we should talk about why it is going really, really bad all of a sudden. So 3 days ago, for the past week, Iran has been closing the Strait of Hormuz. And we talked about this last time. Strait of Hormuz, incredibly important shipping lane, responsible for something like 20% of all goods moved throughout the world, right? Most importantly, a shitload of oil, which is a lot of the reason why gas prices have been reacting the way they have. It's like $1,000 a gallon now, right? My ass is going to start cycling again. One of the end of the world scenarios was if Iran starts putting sea mines in the Strait of Hormuz, which they claim they have started to do. This is disastrous for us, and we have basically no mechanism to stop it from happening. So Trump, 3 days ago, makes a Truth Social in which he says, I will give the Iranian regime 48 hours to remove their mines or stop at the Strait of Hormuz. And after that, we're going to fucking annihilate them. Let's see if I can pull up the exact tweet. Here it is. If Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first, which, I mean, I'm not a law of armed conflict scholar, but you should probably have to do a lot of analysis as to whether you're allowed to do that. Thanks for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. All right. It's been 48 hours since then, and the strait is not open. In retaliation to this tweet, the markets responded with an embarrassing downturn after trading hours. As it became clear there was just going to be economic collapse on Monday, late last night he said, actually, we've been having some very productive talks, so I will extend this offer for 5 additional days. So we've gone from 48 hours to 7 days total. And guess what? I think it might be extended an additional time. At this point, we are now trying to figure out what exactly we are doing in Iran, because we don't really have goals. They keep saying we're going to stay till all our goals are met, but we don't know what the goals are. It says the main goal of the Iran war is now securing the Strait of Hormuz for energy shipments, which is only blocked because we did the war. We are now trying to win the war by leaving the war we started. This goal was accomplished 2 weeks ago. Holy shit, man. Oh my God, dude. Well, whatever. What are we going to do about it, you know? This is just going to happen to us. Oh boy. let's have some feel good news from Blue Sky. Peter Thiel has been doing a speaking tour about the Antichrist. It's just kind of strange. It would be like me doing a speaking tour about the dangers of quirked up bisexual white boys. This is a fun one. When Peter Thiel took his Antichrist lecture series from San Francisco to Rome last week, he expected to ruffle a few Vatican feathers, but what he did not anticipate was the Pope's AI advisor asking whether Peter Thiel should be burned at the stake. Listen, God forbid. I will say, I don't always agree with Catholics, but Thiel's entire body of work, here, hold up, let's hit the show more and go, can be interpreted as a sustained act of heresy against the liberal consensus, a challenge to the very foundations of civil coexistence, which he now considers outdated. Oh, interesting. Oh, man. Well, we'll find out next week, huh? Can the Pope legally have him detained and burned in Vatican City? No. Don't worry, though. We have figured out a way to spin this Iran thing for good. We are entering another Middle Eastern quagmire, but it could help us forget about the last quagmire we were a part of, which is that everyone in government is a decrepit pedophile. To erode public support for the joint U.S. military operation with Israel, Iranian state media has sought to portray those countries' leaders as part of a corrupt and depraved Epstein class. While such content often fails to gain much traction outside Iran, I've seen it, the message is spreading through generically named news accounts that researchers say appear to be using Epstein conspiracy theories to serve pro-Iran talking points to a global audience. There's a lot of Epstein-related content being pushed out to draw eyeballs. You come for the Epstein content, and you stay for the propaganda. Well, I mean, all the people who were in power came for the Epstein content. They stayed for something else, you know? Oh, no. For Epstein! It's good. It's good. Good stuff. Let's do a little bit of feel good before we get to the next stupid fucking thing that we have to talk about. Get a load of this panini press in the kitchen at the gas station where I work. It's never been cleaned and stays on 24/7. Seasoned? No. So I will say, it is kind of like cast iron, right? But I think you are supposed to scrape that amount of carbon off it. That's like, it's like a perpetual stew, but for paninis. Yeah, kinda. No, I don't think so. Oh boy. Gross. Next up. My Chinese uncle has been reverse brainwashed by anti-China content on YouTube after discovering VPNs. So now at dinner he says stuff like, "Why are we eating liver? It's uncivilized. We should be eating hamburgers like Americans." I gotta agree. 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 Oh man. Hey, are hamburgers more civilized than liver? I think probably not. I had liver, it was pretty gross. Liver can be quite good. All right, we got to talk about ICE and airports. So last Friday, Trump tweeted that on Monday he was going to start directing ICE to assist TSA with airport maintenance. This is because the TSA's continued funding is currently in jeopardy because of a budget crisis that is ongoing. All I have to say is, oh God, please no, don't remove the TSA agents from the airports. I flew out from Alestral's Worlds on Monday, and I can tell you the ICE agents and TSA agents was like the least qualified government agents in history versus the least qualified government agents of today. I did this bit in the preamble too, but I wanted to put it in Freax. But don't worry, this incredibly unpopular thing is being credited to Trump, who has probably the best response I've ever seen in the history of time. Whose idea was it to put ICE in airports, okay?
Whose idea was that to put ICE in the airport?
We're dealing really.
Whose idea was it?
Mine. That was mine. That was like the paperclip, you know?
What do you mean that was like the paperclip?
The story of the paperclip? 182 years ago, a man discovered the paperclip.
What the fuck are we talking about?
You know the story of the paperclip? 182 years ago, a man discovered the paperclip. It was so simple. And everybody that looked at it say, why didn't I think of that? ICE was my idea.
I get he's trying to be like, it's so simple, why did no one think of it before? But it also is funny for him to just be like, whose idea was ICE? Mine. Do you know the story of the paperclip? Just like immediately. Oh my God. Jesse Presmath, thank you for the raid. We ain't playing Yu-Gi-Oh yet. We're still talking about the news. He's off by about 50 years too. That's good. That's great. It's probably he watched like one of those Now This factoids while in an elevator or something. Holy shit. Okay. Second to last thing we're going to do, then we're going to end on a bunch of feel-good stuff. Cuba! If you were here last week, you saw that they've decided they're going to start building consent for a Cuban invasion, right? And they've figured out the mechanism by which they're going to do it, and that is Cuba is a third world country. Now, unfortunately, this line doesn't really work because anyone who's alive knows why Cuba is constantly experiencing like famine crises. It's because some country, could be anyone, has had an embargo on them for the last 50 years, right? So here's the really rough one from today. It's I just pulled this. I don't know anything about this news organization, but the Cuba's hospitals have been without power recently. There's no medicine. There's no power. Cuba has some of the most qualified doctors in the world, but there's not much you can do when the fucking lights are out. Let me see if I can find the really hard tweet that I saw. Yeah, here it is. This is the original post has been taken down, but here is a repost of it. This Cuban hospital lost power, and someone who worked there said every single person who was on a ventilator, those 19 people, just died. There was nothing you can do. And it just went off. They died. And it is unquestionably a result of the U.S. embargo, right? So as it becomes clear that the issues with Cuba are in so many ways manufactured by consistent American policy that could be changed at any time, it's important that we beat that back and remind everyone that actually they're just too fucking different from us. They're too fucking different from us. They're probably just bad with electricity. They probably spent too much electricity on their fucking Switch 2s and not enough on their ventilators. All right, so in the weeks following, a bunch of content creators, including Hasan Piker, which I regret to inform you we are going to have to talk about, have been going to Cuba with aid. You are only permitted a minimal amount of aid to bring with you to Cuba, so a bunch of people have been doing it. This is from Boy Boy, who is part of the I Did a Thing extended universe, who got on a boat and went there with solar panels. This was really strange to me. But a lot of people have been doing this, right? That said, have you thought about actually maybe they're doing the wrong thing? Maybe they shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this whole thing is super performative. Here's Nathan J. Robinson says, blackout here in Cuba is eerie and disturbing. Whole streets with zero light, every window dark. Then you see shapes moving in the darkness and realize people are still trying to live their lives. Cannot believe how cruel this U.S. policy is. We could stop this. Hasan went, okay? So Hasan also went to Cuba, donated money, time, aid, etc. But the thing about when Hasan does something is there's a whole class of people who make $1 trillion uploading YouTube videos called Hasan is 11,000% over now. And, you know, they have to figure out a mechanism by which this is fucked up. So first up, we have brain genius Jeremiah Johnson. Now, you may remember this guy because this is the person who curates every year the worst tweets on the platform. And if you recall, when we did this last year, we were kind of weirded out that there was a section dedicated to like over woke tweets, for which there are some really funny ones. But instead of picking the good ones, he kept falling for jokes or posting ones that were like, you should treat Palestinians like humans. That's because this guy fucking sucks. So here we have the quote tweet. It says, Cuba has immense potential, says Hasan Abi. The U.S. government has sought to starve and destroy that potential, conducted interviews with doctors and neuroscientists responsible for the only Alzheimer's treatment. Palestinian and Cuban medical school, the vice foreign minister, we've been lied to. The quote tweet. The Cuban dictatorial regime is far more responsible for the impoverishment of the Cuban people than America is. I mean... This is now the new line is, why are you blaming America for the dilapidation of Cuba? You should instead be blaming the leaders in Cuba, which is like, why are you chewing gum? You could be walking at the same time. The response here, yeah, but also embargoing oil and causing a power grid failure does seem kind of shitty and cruel. This person goes, I don't think the U.S. should embargo their oil. But it's ridiculous for tankies like Hasan to go sing the praises of a violent totalitarian regime and act like they're just small beans who never hurt nobody. Cuba is poor because it's controlled by murderous communist thugs. Just like, oh, I can't imagine buying that. But also, like, surely there's a difference between the Cuban people and the Cuban leadership. Like, if what you're doing is hurting the Cuban people, surely you can separate that from a critique of the leadership of the country. Think about maybe another country that has a leadership that the entire group of people that they govern hate, almost a supermajority of them. One that's exceptionally warlike and full of murderous thugs that are also molesting children. You know, who knows? And I think this is... You know, I disagree with this Mr. Bender person on a fundamental level because I do think the primary problem with the Cuban economy is the American enforced embargo. But this is a good counter argument, which is that's actually a stronger reason not to do the embargo, because then if there is failure in Cuba, you can blame it on the government instead of the American embargo. Of course, this presumes that the purpose of the embargo is to do anything other than cause Cuba to fail as a nation because we don't like them. We've got another genius level take here. Hasan went to Cuba to give them money, but he wore a $690 button-down shirt, which could feed a family of 4 in Cuba for about a year. All the comments underneath it are criticizing him for not bringing enough money. He brought the maximum allowable, but because of the embargo, you're not permitted to bring over a certain amount. I mean, if $690 can feed a family of 4, even if it's a little amount of money, apparently it's great. I'm sorry. Well, what am I going to do? I understand. Don't worry. Hasan also broke U.S. law. The U.S. Department of State maintains a Cuba prohibited accommodations list, which bans American travelers from staying at or paying for over 400 government-owned hotels, guest houses, and resorts. This is actually a really interesting one, and I'm happy to see him hit back on this. He stayed at a hotel specifically because it was on the restricted list. Like, U.S. citizens that go to Cuba have to stay at one of a very small number of hotels. He stayed at one of those hotels, and now people are criticizing him for staying at such a nice hotel. It's like, no, legally he had to. It is really insane just what you are not allowed to do with respect to Cuba because of the embargo. You know, when it comes to this, I think as much as it matters, it's important to recognize that none of the stuff that is being spoken about with relation to Cuba is a justification for an invasion, which is what it seems like we're gearing up for. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or move the needle just because the government is now operating without consent of the people. You know, no one wanted to go into Iran and we fucking did it anyway, so who fucking knows if it matters or not. But as they ramp up for a Cuban extended military conflict, remember, the state of Cuba has a lot to do with the embargo that has been placed on them by America that could be reversed tomorrow. And if you're afraid of ending up on the wrong side of this, don't worry. Everyone was saying that we needed to invade Iran in order to save its people, but what the heck? I feel bad for the Iranians who trusted the U.S. not to fuck this up spectacularly. This person replies, all 6 of them. It was a pretty common Iranian diaspora opinion a few weeks ago that this would turn out well, unless that was all a psyop. What? Wait a minute. Hold up. It couldn't have all been a psyop, could it? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. You don't think they would amplify the voices of the people that supported the Iranian war? That just seems unlikely. I saw a quote tweet to this that was just unbeatable, which is, of course, Contrapoints. I mean, what are you gonna say? You know. All right. Okay. Let's get off politics. I mean, what else can we possibly say about this shit anyway? We'll close on the Juniper tweet. The thing that defines, this is the same fucking dildo, that defines Hasan, Code Pink, by the way, fucking taking issue with Code Pink, the most nothing org, not saying their outreach and what they do is nothing. They do good work, but it's crazy to characterize them as these like off the wall terrorists. They're totally normal. Code Pink and most of the DSA Extended Universe convoy members is not complicated. It's America bad. Look, sometimes America is bad, but that's quite literally the only lens they're capable of seeing the world, though. It's why the DSA cozied up to Maduro. It's why Hasan thinks Houthi terrorists are so cool and said America deserved 9/11. If something is against America, it's good. End of story. They don't have an ideology beyond that. Never mind that like everyone in here is very specifically elucidating like a through line in terms of what they believe. But the response here, I don't know how you can have this take now that we're in the 4th week of the Iranian war of aggression for America. Are you blind? Juniper, good luck. Good luck getting through to these people. All right, let's get off war. Sam Black is a Magic the Gathering player. He plays a number of formats, probably every format in the world. But one that he takes seriously that very few other professionals do is competitive EDH. I just want to read this line to you, and I want to tell you my incredible take on this, which I think some of you will disagree with. It says, Sam Black, designed a deck to maximize my chances of winning untimed rounds in top 16. This refers to a CEDH tournament he was playing. Unfortunately, the top 16 wasn't untimed. It was 3 hours, and the highest remaining seed wins of the 4. I reached an unassailable position, but ran out of time, too focused on my game rather than the tournament. I made a deal with player 2 that I wouldn't win before my next turn. I should have offered to renegotiate, as the outcome of a gamble would adjust our deal in such a way that would allow one of the other to win instead of seed 1. I'm aware this sounds toxic. It is. Half the top 16 games went to time, and then talks about a specific card called Heuristic Study. It is very funny to me that Magic the Gathering has completely restructured their tournaments, or not their tournaments, their card releases to prioritize Commander, the for fun with your friends format, as their primary way to engage with the product, only to then have to deal with the fact that awe of Oz, some Magic the Gathering players want to win a game of Magic the Gathering. So many people are so down on this tweet because they're like, CEDH is stupid. CEDH, fucking take it up with Wizards. Argue with the Rain. Big fucking surprise. They prioritized a specific way of playing the game, and some people are optimizing for it. The outcome is as funny as it could possibly be. The existence of a format where you go and you're like, fuck, 3 hours. Can we please play at pace? It's so amazing. Let me see if I can find the specific Sam Black reply where he posts his list, because the list is so fucking awesome as a thought experiment. Unfortunately, he posts and posts and posts. Here it is, yeah. So again, my understanding of Magic the Gathering is a lot different than it was back in the day because I don't play it as frequently, but I think I can give a little bit of insight into what's going on here. So the commander at issue is Ishtai Ojutai Dragon Speaker, which gets you into a white-blue, and then Rograch, Son of Rograch, which is a 0-cost commander with a color identity of red. This allows you to play your commander immediately without having to spend mana, which turns on a bunch of really incredible mana rocks like Springleaf Drum. There's one that's specific to commanders in here somewhere. You can also play Paradise Mantle because you can equip it to the Rochrach. And then you load the fuck up on free instance. There's a significant amount of counterspells that are like if you control your commander, you don't have to pay for this shit. There's, of course, the forces. There's the packs. You may sacrifice a non-token red creature rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Well, here's one right here. And then all of you negotiate a chain the entire time. Like by turn 2, you are spending 30 minutes negotiating like a 40 stack chain because everyone has brought a deck full of free counter spells. Like, I'm sorry. Obviously, that as a play pattern, that fucking sucks. I would never want to do that. As a thought experiment, that is damn interesting. Ooh, that's interesting as hell, man. Ooh, I mean, I would never play a game of this, but I want to think about it for sure. This is all the result of this card, Rhystic Study, classic Magic the Gathering card. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1. In a game of Commander, this immediately takes over the game, totally changes the outcome. It really is Max C for Commander. And this deck, outside of the 50 fucking free counter spells, is playing a bunch of clone effects that are specifically designed to make more copies of Rhystic Study so that you can draw more of your free counter spells. It's good. It's good. How is this deck $11,000? What do you want me to say? That's Magic, baby. Let me see if I can. It's been a while since I did Magic pricing. Let me see if I can guess. The 0-mana artifacts are going to do it. Chrome Mox, I bet, is a lot. Yeah, 200. LED, of course, is 1,000. Yeah, that's a lot of it right there. Mox is Diamond is 15. Boy, oh boy. Reprint Mox Diamond so we can all play pre-modern together. Amber at 50. Opal at 300. You must be joking. Man. Is Simeon Spirit Guide money? No, it's the same it's ever been. And of course the lands. Got duels in here. City of Brass, man. Beautiful. That is not how much City of Brass costs, by the way. That's how much this City of Brass costs. Man. Smothering Tithe, a card I did not think would be $60, by the way. This has a couple prints, right? Am I crazy? This card is on the Game Changers list. Yeah, it's got a shitload of prints. Well, some of these are just the same one over and over again. Masters sets, etc. Smothering Tithe is Rhystic too. Yeah. Oh, man. Just very funny. Just a very funny situation. You know what makes the deck funnier? Yeah, no, he talks about it in the thread, but he's playing Kaz. You hop on Kozilek real quick. Where is he? Because when Kozilek is put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles their graveyard into their library. So then they can draw more of their free counter spells. I really would want to play CEDH once, I think. I would like to play one CEDH game with this. And in this thread, Sam Black is calling for the ban of Rhystic Study. But everyone all day has been raking this guy over the coals for daring to want to win this event. For saying, I played a deck designed to win untimed games, then found out the games were capped at 3 hours. And they're like, you can't finish a game in 3 hours? He's like, I said untimed, didn't I? I said untimed. Oh, man. CDH is so stupid. EDH is supposed to be a fun format about not playing Magic the Gathering. Why are they trying to play Magic the Gathering? All right, we got to talk about the last evil thing that happened. We've talked about some terrible, awful outcomes of United States government policy, but we must talk about Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan is going to face the death penalty if Twitter has what it wants. Let's begin at the beginning. So Chappell Roan this week. God, this was my 9/11. I would say this was like, okay, October 7th was what, 15 9/11s? This was like 30 or 31 9/11s. At least 40 or 50 9/11s. So I guess I should, no, I was like, we should start with her account. We should start with the non-her account. Brazilian footballer I don't know footballers' names, says Chappell Roan's security guard spoke to his wife and daughter in an extremely aggressive manner while staying at the same hotel as the singer. So here's what it is. This guy's kid loves Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan walks by their table. The kid got excited and walked past the table, smiled at her, and walks back. Then a security guard comes over and says, hey, don't disrespect my client or harass anyone. And said he would file a complaint while the 11-year-old was sitting there crying. All right? This has honestly made me do a 180 on Chappell Roan. I now hate her. Here's her side of the story.
I'm just going to tell my half of the story of what happened today with a mother and child who were involved.
Okay, already she's lying, all right? I hate to immediately start picking apart her story, but it wasn't a mother and child, okay? It was a mother and a father and a child, okay? Don't erase fathers.
Involved with a security guard who is not my personal security. I didn't even see a woman and a child.
Like, this could not be me. I would never ignore a woman. The number one thing I do when I walk by a woman is I find the immediate closest seat so I can sit my ass down and listen.
Like, no one came up to me. No one bothered me. Like, I was just sitting at breakfast in my hotel. I think these people were staying at the hotel as well. So the fact that, like, a security guard I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child.
That's even worse because the security guard knew that you would want him to do it based on your pattern of behavior. That's actually even worse.
They did not come up to me. They weren't doing anything. It's unfair for security to just assume someone doesn't have good intentions when they have no
So why are you doubting the security guard's account of things? Maybe they knew something you didn't, like that the child was evil.
reason to believe because there's no action even taken. Like, and
then this.
I do not hate people who are fans of my music.
Oh, so in order for us to not be hated by you, we have to be a fan of your music? Maybe you should release better music. Chappell. Taking your name from a famous black comedian.
I do not hate.
Who is transphobic, by the way.
Children. Like, that is crazy. I'm sorry to the mother and child that...
No apology to the father. No apology to the stepfather, the father who stepped up.
That someone was assuming something, that you would do something, and that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve that.
I think I speak for everyone when I say death penalty for Chappell Roan. It is... So people have been expanding the threat. People have been expanding the threat all day, which is just unbelievable. Here, use this next one. She literally shot a child with cancer, by the way, in the head point blank, and this is her response. True. This one's good too. It's the same one. It's literally the same one. This is the one. Department of State advises Americans worldwide to exercise increased caution. What did Chappell Roan do now? We're all asking the same thing. This was her moments before. Why do they have this picture of her like she died or something? She's still alive. She's just a little less happy. Is that the security guard on his way? The quote tweet, test your fucking coke, guys. That's okay. All right. Yeah, you make jokes at the expense of an 11-year-old. Why don't you? I expect an apology from Chappell Roan. I can't believe. I think she's doing a damn bad job being a celebrity. She cost Kamala the election, and now this. Oh my goodness. I think we should crucify her. Now you see how it happened. Now you see, and you want me to do what to Chappell Roan, who has done no ill will towards anyone? Crucify her, crucify her. You see how it happened now. Here we go. Child, oh my God, it's Chappell Roan, security guard. That is actually what happened. Oh. Oh man. Okay. Couple more. This one's great.
Mogging, Craig? Are they mogging, Craig?
They are.
Yes?
Yeah. And this was some frame mogging there by Alperin Shingun after some jester gooning.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my goodness, fun.
This is what Alestral's commentary was like, by the way. Okay, last one before we do that. This is from TuneHive. An AI-powered TikTok account called Fruit Love Island is launching the fastest growing ever, gaining 3 million followers in 9 days since launching on March 13th. It has videos hitting tens of millions of views within hours and a rapidly growing fandom. I'm sorry. If you enjoy this, you are submental. If you enjoy this, you are a submental unhuman. You are not ensouled. When you die, you won't go to heaven or hell. Your soul is just going to be destroyed like that of a dog. Oh man. We need to watch it. We will watch one episode of Fruit Love Island. By the way, Fruit Love Island, it's just a dating reality show. Did you know you actually are allowed to watch dating shows? You don't have to watch the fruit dating show.
Welcome to Fruit Love Island, where 8 single fruits are about to flirt, fight, and trust. Things get messy fast. Okay, this villa is insane. I'm not leaving here single. I just hope the guys are hot.
I'm here to have fun, and probably break a few hearts. Bro said the quiet part out loud. I just hope the girls like nice guys.
Okay, the banana guy is definitely my type. Wait, I saw him first.
So, which one of you is the troublemaker?
I could be. He might not survive both of us.
Oh, this is gonna be messy.
Islanders, it's time for the first coupling ceremony. The girls will choose which guy they want to couple up with. The guy...
Cool. Awesome. This is a really good show, LOL. I'm against AI heavily, but I do enjoy the storyline. Not gonna lie. Yeah, awesome. If Iran really wants to fuck up America, they will nuke the data center that is making Fruit Love Island. Thus ends Freax. Oh, Robert Mueller died.